mannequin the first.
So recently, Slate Digital and Murda Beats collaborated to create a new plugin. I'm a big fan of Slate plugins anyway, I've been using them for a while, and obviously Murda Beats massively impacted the sound of hip-hop and how things sound today. So I thought this is going to be an interesting thing, and it's a new option in this world of like almost, I know you can use them on anything, but it's like aimed towards melodies. This one's actually called Murda Melodies, so this is really catered towards melodies, especially I would imagine for rap stuff, but like any plugin, it can work across the board. You could put it on a vocal, you could put it on a guitar, you could put it on anything, obviously. I'm not going to get into any of those things today. I'm going to experiment with that over time, but what I'm going to do is just open up the plugin, make a really simple melody, like maybe 2 parts, nothing too crazy or exciting, just so that we can see how much the plugin can then take a sort of okay melody and how you can use the plugin and then turn that melody into something more interesting and more, I don't know, just something that's going to inspire you to then go on and do the rest of the track. So that's what I'm going to look at today. So the first thing I want to do, I think you can't really go wrong with keys. So I'll use Keyscape. I'll get something up, get a little melody together using Keyscape. Something like that could be cool, just something simple. So, for anyone using Ableton, I know I've not hit record, but now that if I hit this little button up there, boom, brings it. Probably going to get some fan noise from my computer now, which is a shame, but the new MacBook Pro should be here in a couple of weeks, so hopefully, we don't have that problem going forward. I'm going to layer maybe like a flute or something, just something to give it a different flavour. And again, I'm going to leave it all raw. I'm not going to put any processing on the flute or the piano. This is where I find a lot of good flutes in the Contact, just the standard library. If you've not been and had a look, you should definitely, there's some like these really good flutes, especially once you start processing them. That's cool. So I wasn't lying when I said I was going simple. So that's what we'll work with, just to keep things easy. And then go to my Slate folder, then we've got Murda Melodies. This is what the plugin looks like. Kind of crazy, but cool. It's all pretty laid out. These symbols are kind of telling you what they are, and they also load up with a name up there. And if you hover over it, it'll kind of give you a brief explanation of what it does, like add spatial dimension, which don't matter how long you're doing things, that kind of means what. we'll play with it though. Let me remind myself of the melody. So what I'd like to see, what I'd like to get by the end of it, hopefully, is some more movement, some more width. I'm guessing that'll bring it. The filter, I read that the filter's really cool, and it's got its own little character. The pitch thing I'm excited to try out, because every pitch shifting plugin or algorithm just sounds a little bit different, the way that it warps the pitch and time and things like that. So they all bring something a little bit different, so that'll be fun to see. And this pitch jitter, I don't really understand what it does, but it's just like it's just obviously something that's going to be making it sound a bit, just movement. I think a key thing of this is movement. We've got a reverser down there, some sort of like warmth, saturation, icy reverb, moving modulation, wide modulation, presence and clarity, and a rhythmic delay. Okay, so they're all kind of things. It seems quite well put together. So I'm just going to play it now. I'm just going to play it through and see what comes out. Start at spread. It's definitely widening it out, but what I'm going to do is see how that then translates to mono. If you want to quickly ever make something mono, go to utility, hit mono. Okay, so that's cool. It's when flipped into mono, you're not really losing anything, even though the width is fully spread, which can obviously be a problem with a lot of plugins and a lot of techniques when it comes to widening. It's like cancels itself out through phasing issues. So that's good. That means you can have that full whack and you don't have to worry about how it's going to translate in mono, if you even worry about those kind of things. So let's look at the dimension. That's cool. I think somewhere in the middle is where it's going to work best, unless you wanted something particularly extreme and we're really looking to warp your sample. I mean, I might do that here just to really push it to its limits. Let's get a basic one first. Motion, a bit of moving modulation. Yeah, that's cool, gives it more character. See what the reverb's saying. It's obviously too heavy. Somewhere around like between 40 and 60 is probably the sweet spot. Again, I reckon that's going to be a trend on this. I think the saturation is pretty nice there. Sometimes saturation on melodies can destroy them, but that's pretty cool. Okay, I'm going to come back to the wobble. I'm interested in how this reverse is going to work. Yeah, that's cool. I mean, I don't know how it'd work. You'd maybe have to flatten that and nudge it to get the best out of it, unless you want to use it almost like a delay reverse. I think that sounds good, especially on like that piano. That's cool. Delay. Sounds like it's like a filtered delay, like a dark delay, but that is generally what you would want, especially with the Murda Beats vibe. You kind of would expect it to be on the darker side. What's this? Presence and clarity. I don't know what it's doing. I'm guessing a bit of compression and a bit of lifting the highs or something. It's definitely bringing it to life. A wide modulation, so I'm guessing that's going to be more modulation but focused more on the left and right speaker rather than the mono signal. That's cool. You could get some really cool effects with that, especially on guitars. I would like to hear this on guitars. I'm definitely going to experiment with it on different sort of sound sources. There is an amount knob there that'll come in handy for some stuff, but I'm just gonna go a bit more extreme. I want to flip the sample really. I'm gonna pitch down. I'll pitch all the way down 12. See what that sounds like. Try the filter. I'm going to see what this pitch jitter is all about. I don't know what to expect from this. It's quite, even when it's on 0%, it's quite extreme, but see, that sounds a bit weird, but for the right type of beat, that'd actually be sick to be able to just like take something to a crazy place like that. It just gives you a whole new thing to build on top of then. I'm going to leave it on anyway, because the whole purpose of this is to test the entire plugin, so I want to use every feature a little bit. Maybe not the wobble. So the wobble on this, I feel like with things like it's a nice touch to just have it in there, but it looks like it's a set speed and it's a set wobble, like it's quite regimented. So to get that, I think there's other plugins that give you more randomization and more realism when it comes to getting that wobble effect. But it's nice to have it there anyway, certain sounds especially. So what I would do normally at this point is record out my melody as its own like sample, and I would also include a little bit of those at the end. So I'm going to do that. So even just doing that, I feel like we've already shown that it can like totally like take something pretty boring, like, you know, the melody's dark, like a lot of these melodies are simple like that, so it's not that it's boring like that, it could still work, but there's nothing crazy going on. It's a piano and a flute, it's like the most sort of basic instrumentation we're used to hearing at the minute, just raw sounds grouped together and then run through the plugin, and it's turned into at least a sonic bed for something else to be built on top of, which I think is the type of tool a lot of us are looking for. We've got a few things. I think the Kyle Beats one was cool, even though the whole like sort of viral advert craziness that was going on. But I think that was actually pretty cool, and that the randomized function in that was cool. Obviously RC20, which has got a staple place in the sound now, and there's a few more. But I think this one is cool. I'm a Slate fan as well, so it's like I kind of want to like it from the get-go. So I always see stuff like that through rose-tinted glasses a little bit, but whatever. They all kind of do the same thing in different ways, but I like the functionality of this one. I like that it's got a few features that RC20 and some of the others don't have, like with the modulation and the wide modulation and the pitch shifting inbuilt, which is cool, and the pitch jitter. I think the filter sounds cool, and I like how you can like link them so that then they move in relation to each other. That's cool. I think generally it's pretty good plugin. If you've got the Slate bundle already, or if you're tempted to go and get it because you've seen this and you're a fan of what Murda Beats does or anything like that, don't hesitate. It's cheap enough and you get such a wide variety of stuff in the Slate package that I've always recommended it to people. So with all that said, now I'm going to try and turn that into a beat and see if it's actually going to translate into something good. At the minute it's in A flat, and that's, I want to probably bring it up a couple so that I can get low with the bass. I feel like this is just gonna be a bouncy vibe. I feel like I want to do something quite fast and intense and rolling with the hi-hats. Yeah, so this basically would just need structuring out, in my opinion, and add like a bunch of details, add in chops and dips and just little light switch ups and maybe some variation on the bass part. So I think it's sounding cool. It's one of those like aggressive beats. It doesn't kind of need to do a load of stuff. Now it's more about getting the structure right. I wouldn't even bother overdoing that, because if you send it to an artist, or if an artist wants to jump on it, they're going to have moments within their lyrics or moments within what they're saying where they're going to want to chop it and filter it differently. That's just from what I've noticed from experience, like especially with beats that I'm like sending to people. They'll record to them and then they'll get the stems, and then when I hear the final version, they've done a few bits to it. I know some producers are mad precious about that, but at the end of the day, I think a producer's role is actually to like help the artist be what the artist wants to be. And if you've got the luxury of being in the room with the artist and you can like guide the session a little bit, then you can be part of that conversation. But a lot of the time I'm sending beats and people are vocaling them, different engineers, and naturally the artist's going to be like, oh, maybe we could do that there, or cut that bit when I say that, and I'm all for that. So I don't overdo it with chops and cuts, because that could also deter them from using the beat. If there's too much, they might not like that, they might not like cuts. I know that there's definitely artists that don't like things to drop out, and that might be a thing that stops them using that beat or skipping that beat or whatever. So it's about getting the balance right. You don't want it to be too basic, obviously, but you want to add some like flair to it. Aside from all that, we're talking about the plugin. So I think Slate and Murda Beats have done a really good job in just making something, just bringing something else to the Slate brand as well. They've made quite a versatile plugin. Like, I can't wait to try that on guitars, on vocals, on weird moments in a track where there's a breakdown and stuff. Like, I think there's a lot of scope to do some cool stuff with it. Like, I wonder what the pitch shifting sounds like on a vocal. It might sound amazing. It might sound like the best pitch shifting plugin you've got, and that's just by using that feature. So I can't even say I recommend the plugin, because really I'm recommending the whole Slate package. That's the best way to go with this. But if you're in two minds, or if you're tempted because of this plugin, I would say just do it and try it. Like, you don't need to commit to the year. You can commit to a month and do it a month at a time. That's what I did at first. And then once I realised I was never cancelling it, I thought, oh, I'll commit to the year because it brings the price down or whatever. So yeah, hopefully that gave you like an appropriate look at the plugin. I know a lot of the times these plugin reviews and like virtual instrument reviews and synth reviews, they're not always focused on modern music that's at the forefront, like rap music and the modern sound of pop music. A lot of the times it's like people loading up sessions they've recorded with bands, or like playing really crazy modular like acid bass patterns that no one really like. Unless you're into that stuff, it's not a very versatile review. It's not a very versatile overlook. Whereas I wanted to give you something in more like of a digestible, easy to understand way, and just see how the plugin works. Because when I'm out looking for plugins and I go and watch reviews, I don't want to know people's life story. I don't want to have to go through all these cinematic sequences all the time. Like, I'm not saying I won't be doing videos where there's more of that stuff, but sometimes you need to get to the point. Hopefully you've got that out of that. But yeah, there'll be more videos like this. I want to do more videos like this. I need to do more videos like this. I enjoy it. Come shout me, comment, connect with me, let's talk.